Good morning, everybody. It's your boy D Mac. Let's talk. So, as I peruse and ponder throughout my day, and I just looking through the news and seeing what I can bring up as a good topic for us on these days, I came across something concerning our Homeland Security. And this is something that really should be brought to the attention of the people. So, our borderland security is being sued by two black Homeland Security officers for their racial profiling. And this is the border of Canada and the US. So there's a bridge that connects the US and Canada. And going over this bridge as a black or brown person can mean your life in some situations. For the simple fact that you are profiled as you go across this bridge into Canada. Um, there's been many cases where people have been profiled. The percentage of people who are pulled over and harassed at this border, 97% of them are brown or black people. So there's a major disparity in the profiling of criminals with this particular border. And the Homeland Security people of this area are not doing their jobs because they are racial profiling. They're not checking for people who are trying to come in this country illegal. That's not what they're doing. They are racially profiling black and brown people. Now, understandably, when you have brown people coming across the border, um, there's a question of if they're refugees trying to make it into the United States. But if you have somebody who you know is American, they have all of their credentials, why are you still harassing these people? One of the border agents spoke of an incident that took place where he pulled a gun on a black family because the father was looking for the key fob in a rental vehicle that they were using to go on this trip. And after the incident was done and over with, and he asked why were they pulled over in the first place. I'm referring to the officer. He asked the other officers why were these people pulled over in the first place. They didn't give him an answer. All they said was it's a good look for us, basically saying that it's a good look to the people of Canada that we're keeping the black people out of their country. This is something that we have to get in check. This is something that we have to ring the alarm and bring attention to, because if you remember, President Donald Trump stated that these brown people were drug dealers and pimps and everything other than a refugee who's seeking safety and sanctuary from a tyrant government. He called them everything but that. And so he made these people look like they were the worst criminals of the world. And these border agents have been treating these people accordingly to what Donald Trump has said. And nobody's done nothing about it. Now, yeah, we can say that Donald Trump, he fueled a lot of that, but there's nothing that the Biden administration have done against it. We're talking about working against police brutality. Well, these are an extension of the police force as well that needs to be dealt with as far as their brutality and their mistreatment of black and brown people as well. These border agents have a vendetta. They have a vendetta that's been set, and it is being carried out just like the rest of the law enforcement in this country. I keep getting a brain freeze because I'm trying to think of some big words to say to make myself sound smart. But no, really and seriously, man, I mean, what can we do, man? It's everywhere. All law enforcement has been given this vendetta to stop black people. So it's basically they're not here to help us. They're not here to protect us. They're here to protect the lighter skinned people from the darker skinned people. That's what law enforcement in the United States sole purpose and priority is. They do not protect us. They are not here to protect us. They were never created to protect us. Their whole creation and intent and purpose was to protect white people from black people. Let's just be honest about the reality of it. So we've always been considered the threat. So black people just get used to it. Brown people just get used to it. We're never going to be the subject to be protected by these law enforcement agents and these Homeland Security agents. It's not their job to protect us. It's their job to protect the white people from us. So when you understand what your role is in this country, then you can start to move accordingly, because there are some people who feel that we should have rights and we should be treated equal, but that's a wish list, man. That's not the reality of this country. And we have to get over thinking that this country is going to change to accommodate us. It's not. America will never change to accommodate us, no matter what you say. And we think that having children with other ethnicities is going to take away the racial tension and the racial tone, but it's not. It's just going to create another one, because hatred and anger is what this country was built on. It was built on bullying. They bullied the Native Americans of this country. They changed their identity. They did so many different things to discredit these people and justify them coming over here taking these people's stuff over. What makes you think that they would do any difference towards us? They're going to keep a certain narrative about us, just like they do everybody else, in order for them to justify the illegal things that they do to us. So understand this, get this in your head now, and accept it for what it is. We're never going to change this country from being the racist people that they are. We're never going to change the racist stereotypes that they place on people to keep us separated and fighting against each other. The only option that we have is to turn our attention towards the government and really hold them accountable. Well, what does that look like, holding the government accountable? Well, I'll say January 6th was a warped, um, convoluted version of what I'm talking about, because they felt like they were doing the right thing and they felt like they were standing for justice, but they weren't. They were misled by a psychopathic president. And so if you get people like-minded and with that same energy and that same intent going towards what's good and what's right, then we can have some change in this country. But people are scared to fight for what's truly right. People will fight for what they believe is right. People will fight for what they believe in. And a lot of times what they believe in was something that was fed to them by past generations, that's error teaching. But they'll go wholeheartedly with this error teaching, and they will go forth, kind of like, you remember Paul from the Bible. Remember how Paul started out? He started out and he was a Pharisee, and he was out persecuting Christians, and he thought in his heart of hearts that he was doing the right thing, until he came to the road of Damascus and had that experience. And then after that, he realized that the whole time he had zeal, but it wasn't according to knowledge. And so a lot of these people out here, the racist people, the white nationalists, and all of these militia groups, they have a zeal, but it's not according to knowledge. It's according to error teaching that they've latched onto and made their reality. And so we have to understand that these people are always going to exist. We're never going to totally get rid of them. And this border situation is further proof that the United States does not want black and brown people in this country. They will openly let the white people in, like Donald Trump said. Why don't we get people from the white nations wanting to come over here? Why do we have all of these shithole countries wanting to come here? This is what he thinks of us. This is what he thinks of the people coming across the border. And this is the same mentality and mindset that these border patrol agents have. All of these people coming from these shithole countries to the United States, where we have to do something about it and make an example of them. And so they're out there, they're doing the same thing on these borders that the police are doing within our cities to the black people and the brown people. So something has to give. Somebody's gonna have to take a stand at some point against this. But just know that you're fighting against the entire United States government when it comes down to fighting against racism and inequality in this country, because it starts with them. It starts right with them. So yeah, this is your boy D Mac. I just wanted to make you aware of what's going on really at our borders. It's far more than just letting people in. It's black people being harassed, brown people being harassed, and white people just being let to go free as they may. These are the disparities that are going to keep us divided as a people, and it's done strategically for that purpose. White privilege is done to keep us separated. It's done to keep us envious. It's done to keep us angry and bitter and resentful towards white people who don't even realize the privileges that they have because of their skin color and because of their ethnicity. So we'll continue to highlight these things so that they don't get swept under the rug like many others. And I'll continue to be a beacon who speaks out against these types of things because it needs to be said. And I'm not afraid to say it because I'm not afraid of any consequence that America would try to bring against me. There's nothing that they can do to me. So yeah, this is your boy D Mac. I'm always gonna be screaming what's right for the people and speaking out against this tyranny that we are facing. Biden, it's happening on your watch now. So it's your problem now. And if you don't respond to it, you can't use that, oh, well, I didn't do it. It was here when I got here. Well, now you're here and you can do something about it. And your inactivity is showing that you are consenting to it being done. Like they said, silence is just like saying yes to the situation. Silence is consent. So as long as our government stays silent about this and turn a blind eye to it and the people don't say nothing, it's going to stay the same. But when the people step up and start to make it an issue, then they're going to have to deal with it at some point. Are you willing to stand up and say something? Are you willing to get locked up for saying something? Are you willing to risk anything for a better country for our children? Because that's what it's coming down to. This isn't for us in this time. The things that we do now are going to benefit our kids in the future. So based on what we do right now is going to determine whether our kids have to fight this same struggle in the future or will it already be done and over with. It's up to you. And I'm gonna leave it at that. This is your boy D Mac. You know what I say: sticks and stones can break your bones, but the word can always heal you. I'm out.